the idea that Lamar is your quarterback?
Of course. And you prepare for all contingencies, but you build a great offense for your players, right? I mean, that's what you do. And Lamar's under contract, and that's the guy that's the guy I want to see be our quarterback. That's my guy. We made a decision to go with Lamar Jackson 5 years ago, right? Why? Because we love him. We love him. We love the way he plays. We love his mindset, his charisma, his style, the way he is in the locker room. Everything about him, we love him. I love him personally. I love being the coach of the team that he's playing quarterback for. So that's what you do. You build the team around your players, and that's what I'm excited to do.
Fellas, what up?
What's up, man?
Sports mix, boy. Hey, the block is hot. You heard me. The block is hot, baby. Sports mix, man. Got my guys in the building with me, Big Cheese. Got my guy Glenny Moore from Cool Combos. Combos and Cheese from. Tell them where you from, Cheese.
Oh, the Peaceful Disturbance.
The Peaceful Disturbance.
Boom. Yeah.
Black Power. Black podcasters in the building. Love it, man. Right. So, fellas, man, we are all, sports fans. We all Baltimore guys. We Ravens fans. Ravens are in the news.
Woke up to
it. And depending on what side of the fence you on, it could be good news or it could be not so good news. But I just played a clip, and I wanted to start with that clip because you got people that we taking sides. People taking sides on this thing.
Right.
And the one thing that we haven't really heard, we don't really hear the team. We don't hear Lamar. We just hear a bunch of noise. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of noise. It's a bunch of people, media people, saying stuff that they said they heard, they thought they heard. This was offered, that was offered. But at the end of the day, we don't really know what's going on other than the speculation. And LJ shook stuff up this morning. And from what I understand, it was around the same time that the press conference I just played the clip for was going on. They kind of happened simultaneously. So LJ, we know that a couple of weeks ago, the Ravens slapped that franchise tag on them. The lower one at that, which I was really shocked at that. They've been talking about working out this deal the last 2 years, trying to get them signed. Haven't gotten anything done. And really we just hear a bunch of rumors and innuendo as to what it is or what it is not. So I got my guys, man. We're gonna throw this thing around a little bit tonight. We're gonna start just get our opinions out there first, what we feel like is going on, what we want to see happen, what we think should happen, and what's gonna happen after Lamar made his surprise tweet this morning that he requested a trade on March 2nd. So fellas, y'all take the floor right quick, Let me hear what y'all got on this thing.
Well, I see Harbaugh. He let me tell you something. Harbaugh is always going to be politically correct. You hear me? So he's not going to say too much. He's going to always walk that fine line. Although Lamar, again, he shook the NFL. It's not necessarily a surprise, but he's making a statement.
Yeah.
And it's causing us to really make a decision, or it's positioning us to have our hearts broken as Raven fans. And are we going to go with Lamar? Or are we going to stay here with the Ravens? But it's real.
Yeah, it's real.
That's true, man. I like Lenny said, Harbaugh is par for the course when it comes to Lamar. Number one, he's never going to talk against him. I think he has great respect for Lamar, genuinely. And that's probably why Lamar has never said anything, because for the respect he has for Harbaugh, in my opinion. I think a lot of coaches, in history have aligned themselves with particular quarterbacks and have a trusted relationship. And I think that's one of them. I mean, he trusted Lamar, to come and replace Flacco, and Lamar's just been box office since then. I mean, you're talking about NFL MVP, um, one of the highest passer ratings for a first 5-year quarterback ever in the league. I don't think people give him his credit for that. He has had his injuries. I mean, football is not golf, and I wish people would understand that. But at the same time, I also urge people to say that, when people are in negotiations, especially in football, and you say, okay, Deshaun Watson kind of turned the market upside down with that guaranteed contract in Cleveland. And you look at Lamar and whoever his family is, his mother, and he obviously as a representative, maybe not an agent, but you say, okay, I've been an MVP, I've been a stand-up citizen, I've been a team player, I'm a role model, I'm good for the city. He's done everything right that you can ask for from a team leader. In my opinion, they should have nipped this in the bud a year and a half ago and given the man the money that he deserves. A lot of people say, you know what, no one deserves that money. Well, here's the thing. Wherever your job is, you are paid for what you produce. His box office, as I stated. I can't go to my job and say, look, I want 10 million a year and I'm only bringing in 1 million a year for my organization and the NFL. You got kids out. When I went to LA last year, kids out there wearing Lamar Jackson jerseys. I mean, come on, man. I mean, so that's just part of, I know we're gonna get into it more, but
So Tonyo, what's up, homie? Tonyo asked the $1 million question. This is the question nobody really had an answer to. We don't know what Lamar wants.
Yeah.
We don't know what the sticking point is.
Yeah.
We just whatever it is, the Ravens haven't produced it.
But I think one thing we can assume that he wants to either match or surpass what Deshaun Watson got, which is fair, which Cheese just read down his resume, which he's deserving of.
Yeah.
Now, let's be clear. Deshaun is not the first one to rock the boat in the NFL.
That's true.
Kirk Cousins rocked the boat a few years ago as well when he signed for the 3-year, 80-some million, that guaranteed money, and it messed up everything because every quarterback wanted that money, wanted that type of money. But the NFL owners was like, no, y'all not going to do that to the league. Because similar to the NBA, where the NBA, their players, man, they got control now. If they want to go, they can go. They can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And the NFL owners don't want that in the NFL. So Lamar probably is asking for, which he's due, match Deshaun money or more. And so we at least know that. And I think maybe the battle is the guarantee money.
Yeah, that's true.
I said it. I know I said it when we did a show right after Deshaun got his money, and I said it. I said it then. The starting price is that.
Yeah.
Whatever he got, that's where we start at. That's not Lamar's fault. That's not Deshaun's fault.
Right.
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And one thing we know about salaries, they can try to play these games off. The salaries are not coming back down. So owners, y'all can play with this guy and try to hold him out, and we're not going. If it's not guaranteed, if it's the guarantee that y'all that's holding you, the value of it has to be more or should be more than Deshaun Watson, because like you just ran it down. Deshaun Watson got that contract and hadn't played, had missed the whole season, first of all, and then missed the first 11 or 12 games in the first year of that contract. So come on, man. I mean, we say we want these guys to be, we want these guys to not get in trouble and not have the police and everything we don't want. That's what Lamar Jackson has been. You know what I'm saying? He's a humble guy. You know what I'm saying? He don't do a lot of talking. he might be a little different with the jewelry and the braids and all that stuff. But man, I mean, for the most part, kid is a model citizen. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear about him doing anything.
Mhm.
So my whole beef is this. We are told by everybody that's an expert on NFL that, in order to win in this league, you got to have a franchise quarterback. That's where you start. This is what we hear all the time. Now, we have a franchise quarterback that his record, I don't even have the numbers in front of me, but his winning record, we definitely win more with him than without him.
Absolutely.
We scored 28 points a game with him, 17 without.
Mhm.
I mean, so what happens is the goal line gets moved.
Mhm.
Oh, he's just a regular season quarterback. He can't win in the playoffs. All right, but the Ravens didn't win in the playoffs. It wasn't just him out there. The team hasn't won.
Mhm.
They talk about he's a running quarterback. Every time he's been hurt in the pocket.
Mhm.
Every time, including in the Buffalo game, in the playoff game when he ended up getting knocked out of that one, but because of the bad snap, and he caught the concussion. But he's never got hurt running the football. You know what I'm saying? Every injury he got was sitting in the pocket trying to make something happen from the pocket. So I think the disrespect come when, like I said, you told you need a franchise quarterback to win. This guy is the franchise. He is the franchise. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that's moving the needle in the last couple of years, selling the tickets, the merchandise. He's the guy, the exciting guy that the Ravens was a defensive football team since the inception.
Mhm.
This was the first time we ever been identified on the offensive side of the football.
Right.
So what is it? Why not take care of that guy? Now, I understand the business side of it. Maybe you can't break the bank, but you gotta come to this guy and we gotta come to a deal that's gonna make him happy. First, he gotta be happy because we asking him to do so much. We asking so much of him, but now when it's time to get paid, now we want to play hardball with him. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Unfortunately, Lamar may end up the sacrificial lamb in this situation. Whether he wins it and get his contract or whether he doesn't, this is probably going to set the bar for the future on how things look for the benefit of the player. He may lose this battle for the benefit of the guys behind him.
Yep.
And, let's be clear, even with the franchise tag situation, not many was let go. I think I saw on Undisputed, it was only one guy in the last few years that was actually ended up traded for those picks. And so it's rare. So right now we are embarking upon a situation that may end up a potential franchise player being a sacrificial lamb where he may lose out, or us Raven fans are going to lose him. We're going to lose our franchise quarterback. Not only that, but he is the face of the league. He's top five. Everyone loves Lamar. Why are the my question, Kenny? Why are the Ravens letting that go? That's a chance I would take.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know that. I don't know.
No, I think you're right on it.
I don't get what you got, Chief.
No, I think Glenny's right on it, man. I totally agree. A young man like that, who we haven't really had a talent like that at the quarterback position ever here. And the guy wins. I mean, the passion he shows, the work ethic. And I told you last year when you talk about him, people don't, and see, this is the problem that I have with a lot of people that look at an athlete and they dumb him down. Lamar, you see Lamar with the braids or whatever, and automatically you think, I told you this a year ago. I told you this 2 years ago. He is one of the smartest young quarterbacks in the league. If for whatever he's doing on that field, he has to read certain things that I mean, most of the time he makes the best decision for that particular play. He rarely, until the last when he was trying to do too much, the year before, he got into a little rut where he was throwing interceptions, but rarely does he make the bad pass. I mean, he got into a thing where 3 or 4 games in a row he was throwing a couple interceptions. He takes care of the ball. He hypes his teammates. I mean, he does everything. And I want people to realize when these NFL guys say, they fight for a guaranteed contract, 80% of the time, they don't even fulfill the contract. So that's why they fight so hard for this guarantee, because then you'll be sitting with a young man like Damar Hamlin, who may be out of the league forever, and has his, he's only been in the league 3 or 4 years, where this guy has been paying his dues for 5 years. He says, look, I can lose this tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't blame them, man. I don't blame them for wanting to get that money. And like I told you last year, Kenny, and I said this to them on his previous show, Glenny, a lot of these guys come from the mud. They don't have a lot. They didn't grow up having a lot. I can't blame these young men for saying, look, I got to get whatever I can to support my family as best as I can, and with the parameters of what I'm dealing with. So you go into the negotiation like the NFL, this is a business.
Oh, yeah.
I can't fault them, man. I can't fault them.
Well, next you got, but now you say that you got Joe Burrow, who, let's be clear, he was hurt last year himself, right? Is he going to go through this same drama with Cincinnati? Well, is Cincinnati going to pay him?
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I wasn't going to pull this out so fast, Kenny, with the race card thing, but Joe Burrow is coming up, and the kid from San Diego is coming up.
Yes. Justin Herbert.
I am like I said, this is where Lamar Jackson is going to be the sacrificial lamb. What are they going to do for those players now? Because they are worth it. They are worth it. Yeah. But why is Lamar going through this? That's why I say sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, and that's true. And now the one thing, and somebody kind of mentioned it today, Cincinnati is cheap.
Yeah.
They don't like to pay nobody. So on one hand, they don't pay anybody. They got a once in a lifetime quarterback as far as they're concerned, because he the best quarterback they've had since I've been watching Cincinnati. And I mean, they had some. Ken Anderson was good back in the day. Boomer Esiason was good. I mean, they had some good quarterbacks.
Yeah, they did.
This kid is a little different to me. And the climate in the NFL is different, and the money is different. Are they going to step up and offer him that life-changing money?
Absolutely. He's an Ohio kid, Kenny #1. But they ain't gonna let that young man leave.
But it's the Bengals.
No, I don't care.
They always do Bengal-like stuff.
I tell you what. You know what? You're right about that. But in this case, ain't no way on this earth are they gonna let that young man leave. Ain't no way. And I agree with Glenn. They're not gonna go through that with Justin Herbert either. They're gonna pay these guys. They're gonna pay him.
Well, but now the history of the Ravens, though, and I'm reading some of the comments. In the history of they don't pay people. They didn't pay Ray. I think, and he's right. I think the only guy they really even gave some good money was Jonathan Ogden, if I'm not mistaken. But all those players that notable players, the Ed Reeves, the Ray Lewis, the only one that really got paid was Joe Flacco. But he won the Super Bowl that year, and his contract was up. So they had to pay him, whether he was worth it or not.
But on the flip side of that, I don't know what the value of them contracts were, but them guys got second contracts. They didn't go through this. They was able to get to the table and work a deal out.
Good point.
Where they got a second contract.
Good point. Good point.
The value might not have been top dollar at the time, but they didn't go through this. You know what I'm saying? And we know what Ray Lewis was to the Ravens and around the league. Ray Lewis was arguably the best player in the league in this time.
So your point is that Lamar didn't get a second contract. This would be his
trying to
second
get it.
contract, which
Yeah,
he
he's
should
trying to
have
get
been
that
already had.
Should have
right?
been happening.
Okay.
They should have did for Lamar what Buffalo did with their quarterback. They extended them early because they the same draft class.
Yep.
Right.
They the same draft class, and I think you were eligible to get an extension after your third year,
Right.
which would have been 2020.
Now, Kenny but the second contract they offered, but didn't Lamar turn that down? He turned the second contract down.
This is what they saying.
Offered.
But
Nah.
this is what I'm saying. Like you hear, he turned down this. We don't know what he turned down. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we don't really know what was turned down. I know they reported. I had a back and forth with somebody last week. I made the mistake of commenting on somebody page. I should have just read it and kept moving. I had to add my little 2 cents to it, and then the guy telling me that I ain't plugged in. I don't know what's going on. I don't follow this stuff. Like, yo, you don't know me. You know what I'm saying? You obviously don't know who I am, because that's all I do. You know, I this the first thing I do in the morning to see is what's going on with the Ravens, what's going on with sports. And he tried to tell me, you know, that the Ravens had offered him 200. So you know the contract they were talking about where the total value could have been like 280, 290, something ridiculous. And he turned that down. I said, bro, that's not what the offer was. And that wasn't the guarantee. That was potential guaranteed money. Now, I don't want potential guaranteed money. I want guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what the money is. I don't want to have to cross this T and dot that I and, you know, not do this or not have a turn. You know, I don't want to have to go through that. What is the money? You know what I'm saying? I don't want the escalator clauses. I don't want none of that. I want the money. Let me get the money now, and we can talk about some other stuff after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Give me some bonuses if we win the Super Bowl. Give me some bonuses. You know what I'm saying? Give me some playoff bonus. Give me some money bonuses that way. But you know, we going back and forth, and he quoting misinformation. And then not only that, he told me that it was confirmed by Eric DeCosta. I said, yo, that's foolish. Eric DeCosta would not, it would be foolish for him to come out and say this was the offer when he's still trying to negotiate with this guy. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense for somebody in his position, which is why they're not saying anything. Now, I'm sure somebody in that building is leaking stuff to some of these media people, and that's why we're hearing some of the stuff we hear, you know, which is probably why Lamar did what he did this morning. Because that puts the ball back in the Ravens, but in their hand.
Yep.
So wait a minute, hold on, Kenny. Because I kind of disagree. Who's leaking anything out of the castle? Because all we've ever seen was various reporters or anything saying that, you know, he's been reportedly given this or
from the NFL. What's the popular one name? What's the popular one name?
Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, even Lamar was like, that's not true. And then everybody now I would like to know if that's the case, because you could be right though. I mean, but who would even leak that if the Costa and them have not said anything about it? You
know, this is a game they play. It's a tug of war.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
You know, let me put this out there and see, you know,
because
at the end of the day, the Ravens trying to get Lamar to come closer to what they want, and Lamar trying to get the Ravens to come to what he wants. Now, where that happy medium is, that's what nobody knows. You know, we don't really know what the happy medium is, what he's really asking for. And it'd be crazy. He might not even be asking for a dollar figure that everybody's talking about. It could be something in the language in the contract, you know, that he just totally disagree with. Like you know, what was the guy in Arizona? Remember they had the thing, they said he had to study, had so much study time and all that.
No, you know what? See, here's the thing though. With Lamar, that's never been a problem with him as far as his work ethic and his habits. But I will say this: when you go back a year and a half ago, when they exercised, I believe his 5th year option, which was on the same rookie contract, and this was a year after I believe he was the MVP.
Mhm.
And a lot of this, like I said, the Ravens made this bed because at that point, they should have given that man that money. It probably would have worked out cheaper for him, but at this point, because they probably would have got him for like $35 million a year for say like 5 or 6 years guaranteed, whatever it might be. Now he's probably looking upwards of 200 million, maybe. I don't know. Guaranteed. If you think Deshaun Watson got that, he's going to at least want that.
Charles Dawkins, what's up, brother?
So
C-Dot
yeah, I
got a
see.
comment
I see
there.
C-Dot. Yeah.
Said Lamar isn't loyal to the Ravens. He interested in winning Super Bowl for any team that will take it.
That's his language now. That's his language now.
Yeah.
That changed to that because he wanted to be a Raven for life, but now that's his narrative now. So
before let me just do this while I know C-Doc. C-Doc, I need some theme music for the show while you watching, brother. All right, let's get back to Lamar. I just had to plug
he costs too much, man. He costs too much, man. He charged me a whole lot of money.
That's my guy. What's up, C-Doc? CB, CB in the building. What's up, Charles Brooks? My guy.
But the league, the funny thing, I've watched all these I've seen all the platforms talk about this issue with Lamar, and no one knows. No one knows where the Ravens information is coming from. No one has a handle on this. That's what makes this different. You don't know.
That's true.
He is covering himself by putting that information out like he did this morning. He's covering himself so he won't, the people think he greedy or the people think he's not being reasonable. So he's just covering his bases.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So do you think the Ravens are thinking they can win without Lamar? I hope not. Selfishly, I hope not.
Yeah,
no, but there you go. Say it, Glenn. Say it again, Glenn.
They're
Absolutely.
cocky like New England.
Absolutely.
Like New England.
Yeah.
But they had, let's be clear. This is an organization that won with Trent Dilfer and Joe Flacco. Let's be clear.
Oh my goodness.
They have a history of being in the come on now. Let's not knock the Ravens organization. They are a stellar organization.
Oh, yes, they are.
With a unique situation with a quarterback drama right now. But yes, they have, Kenny. They have won.
Yeah.
Without that number one or stout quarterback.
Yeah.
Let me be the mathematician in the group. That was 23 years ago.
It's the defense.
But the defense ain't. The defense isn't that. I mean, we got a good defense. We're not that defense. That's now if we compare this defense with that, I need to bring some urine cups and test some folks because this defense is good. We not 2000 good. Let's stop smoking. Let's cut the crap. But in today's NFL, you can't win that way. You got to be able to put some points up. You got to be able to put some points up.
We can't beat the Chiefs without no Lamar. We just can't.
Nope.
Nope. And even with Joe Burrow, we're not going to be beating on Cincinnati and none of those teams without Lamar. We need him, man. We need him.
I just got a call from Barack. He told me tell CB I said hello.
I'm glad he ain't on here.
I know. He gonna say something.
So Kenny, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So if Lamar, let's say the Commanders, let's say the Colts, let's say one of those teams pick Lamar up. Let's just say it happens. Do you think it's going to be a quick turnaround for that team like that?
Because I don't follow them teams closely. Now I pay attention a little bit to the Redskins because we kind of see their stuff a little bit more, but the Redskins are close.
Okay.
The Commanders? I'm sorry. The Commanders. The Commanders are close. The Colts, I'm not too sure about, but the Commanders, a quarterback could change that situation around because they got some pieces.
Oh, they do. Yeah,
they got some pieces down there. Now the Colts, a young team. imagine the hearts that would be broken if Lamar went to the Colts and won a Super Bowl. Imagine all of the butthurt people they would. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And what if he leave from out his house in a Mayflower van? That would really hurt. That really hurt.
Pour the salt in the wounds, baby.
Oh man, that would really hurt.
Big Twan is a Commanders fan. He said they don't want him.
No. Wow.
They don't want him.
Wow.
But it's Ravens fans that don't want him either. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It really, it's tough, man. Because I'll be reading some of these comments, some of these so-called Ravens fans, man. I mean, you're entitled to you like who you like, but man, some of these people taking it way beyond football. You know, some of this stuff is personal, and the stuff that I know for sure they wouldn't say to his face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I be like, yo, y'all. I mean, the internet has made some people very brave and very, you know, we walk around with our chests out, man. I'm come on with that, because you wouldn't address that man like that to his face without some liquid courage. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't do it in your penny loafers with your slacks on for coming from work. You sit behind your keyboard and you talk about this man's intelligence. You know, talk bad about his mom. And like I said, the crazy thing to me, you know, they talk about these people without really knowing them or even hearing them say anything. I haven't heard his mother say one thing since he's been here. I haven't seen his mom do a press conference. I haven't seen his mother do anything.
But and I respect that too.
Yeah, I respect that.
I respect that.
But I'm gonna say this, because you know his mom take a lot of heat from people that really don't understand. When he signed with Louisville, it was under the guys that he was going to be a quarterback. You know, because you know they were trying to get this kid to change position, even coming out of high school. She found out during one of the first practices that they had him back there fielding punts. I don't know if he called her or whatever, but they said she got on the phone immediately and with the head coach and said, listen, my son is a quarterback. He's not going to return punts. He's not going to be a wide receiver. He's not going to be this. He's not going to be that. If he's not playing quarterback, he's coming home. And the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? The rest is history. He never did anything but quarterback.
Well, I respect that because
So not only is she, you know, she's his mom, but she represents him and she understands what, you know what I mean? She understands, all right, this is what it is. We are a quarterback. I'm a quarterback. He's a quarterback. And what do starting quarterbacks in the NFL make? What's the going rate for starting quarterbacks in the NFL today? So come on, we are talking about 32 million, 35 million. Come on, man. Who's zooming who?
Well, he should set the bar. Certainly, if there's anybody to set the bar, it's him of how much quarterbacks at his level should be paid. But at the same time, all right, put your shirt and ties on and put your loafers on right now. And as an owner, let's consider the argument about him being injury prone, possibility of him being injured. Look at it from a business standpoint. Does the Ravens have a good position in standing by that? Hey, look, it's questionable. He doesn't. Last 2 seasons, he haven't ended strong. He's been hurt. He's been on the bench. Should we take a chance with that and pay this kid that money? So you guys, you put the shirt and tie on. How do you handle this?
Yeah, I would, and I've heard a lot of people say that, and I would probably have to pick it apart piece by piece if I'm representing Lamar. So if I say you go back, and I'm as a representative or agent, which he doesn't have, I would actually go game by game if we're talking playoffs or playoffs. A lot of people don't realize when he lost to Tennessee in the playoffs a couple years ago, Lamar didn't get the ball in the end zone like he wanted, but the game he played, that particular game, was fantastic. They were just getting field goals. He didn't cash in like they should have. I think if you look, he probably had over 400 yards total offense. Then you look at the game they lost in Kansas City. What did they put up? 30-something points, and they lost against Kansas City on a what was it? A fourth that throw that Mahomes threw that play down the middle. What more can you do as a quarterback? You're away on the road. You score 30-something points as a starting quarterback. You scored 30-something points. So I don't know, man. I understand what you're saying, Glenny, but if you go back to as a 21-year-old, you win an NFL MVP, and on top of that, you having another great season after that. And injuries happen. You can't stop it. But I don't know. I think the kid deserves the money. But I'm biased, I guess, you know.
If I'm sitting in this seat, I'm paying him. I'm paying him, man. I remember the last few years of Flacco. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's apples to oranges. You know, they two different guys, they're two different players. You know, Flacco had some success early on. You know, now I'm gonna say this about Flacco, that they kind of get lost because you got people that just look at wins and losses. They look at the records. But look at Joe Flacco's first couple playoff runs. He wasn't spectacular by a long shot. He did just enough.
I don't know. Watch it, Kenny.
The first couple years, he wasn't spectacular.
Okay.
He was solid, but he wasn't spectacular. Now, when he got to the last couple, you know, leading up to the Super Bowl year, playoffs, Joe was tough. But I'm talking about the first couple years. I'm talking about like his rookie year. You know, them years, like 2008, 2009, them years.
Okay.
He didn't put up spectacular playoff numbers. But we had one of the top 5 defenses, you know what I'm saying, in them years. And the year that they went to the Super Bowl and won it, his regular season was awful by Super Bowl winning quarterback standards. He just had a playoff, I mean, his playoff run was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's we pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? We pick and choose when we want to use certain things for arguments. You know, we'll use Joe's playoff record. But, you know, Joe benefited from some great defenses in his playoff history. Now, when they won the Super Bowl, the defense wasn't what it was, but they weren't terrible. You know what I'm saying? But Joe had a hell of a run, and he got his money. I can't take that from him, and I'm not. But when we talk about Lamar, you know, now people saying, well, he's just a regular season quarterback. You know, he 1 in 3 in the playoffs. You know, it's just like Chi said though, you know, look at the game he played. Things just didn't go their way, and you know it happens. You know what I'm saying? But what's Aaron Rodgers' record in the playoffs?
I was going to say, compare him to them other elite quarterbacks. I think he's done an awesome job.
Yeah, I mean,
That's right.
But you know how it is, man. And I always bring this up. You know, I took a statistics class in college, and the teacher pretty much told us, man, you know, because in statistics you get all these formulas and all of this stuff, man, and just you looking at it like, yo, why do I need all these formulas to get this answer? Like, give me the numbers and let me figure it out. At the end of the day, you can make numbers look any kind of way you want them to. You know what I'm saying? You create the formula, and you can make a number. You know, you can make anybody look average. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I could find some numbers and create a formula, and I can make Tom Brady look average. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Say that again.
If I can take, I ain't saying what numbers, but I can take any of the numbers that I choose to create a formula.
Sure.
And say, compare Tom Brady to such and such, and Tom Brady don't look so great. So it's the numbers game. We play with numbers any kind of way, and we do these little things, and people run with the, you know, all of the analytics and all of this stuff, man. I mean, we all old enough we came from an era where we just liked the game, man. I don't care what the numbers are. Play hard and win. And the numbers is something you talk about. Man, I don't even remember when we started talking about numbers, man. We you know what I mean? we talked about football, we talked about basketball, we talked about the games, man. We didn't talk about who had the best what they call it, wins over replacement or some shit they use now. Excuse my language. You know, but yo, we come up for all this stuff. Yo, watch the game. If you watch, you can't tell me you watched the Ravens game, and you can't tell me that number 8 have an effect. Not only on his team, but the way other teams play the Ravens.
Well, really, I think what to lend to your point, that's interesting that you're saying that, because the first quarterback that comes to my mind when you say that is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers have the unique numbers, and he throws that ball legitimately across that field. He does an outstanding job. However, I think Lamar is bigger than the numbers. You can tell that his team is inspired by him.
Thank you.
In fact, the fans are inspired by his play. As whereas Aaron Rodgers, he does what he does, and that's it. You know, and I think for him, like Kenny said, is about the numbers. But with Lamar, I know that he makes his team believe. He carries them literally. Lamar Jackson carries the Baltimore Ravens, and he's deserving of so much more. And so really we're rallying for him, not just Baltimore Ravens fans.
Yeah.
We're rallying for him because we want to see him on Sundays in the NFL, period.
Absolutely. Totally. And that's one I equate it to like Magic Johnson, where you look at Magic Johnson play when we used growing up watching him play, and Magic was one of those guys who they considered a stat sheet stuffer. Next thing you know, he had a triple-double, you know. But his enthusiasm, his infectious way that he allowed his teammates to be involved, the same effect that Lamar has on his teammates. When you got, you know, Andrews and all of my guys, and then guys on the defense coming up, giving them hugs, letting them know, hey, we can do this. We can do this. That's the intangible aspect of Lamar, as Glennie eloquently stated, that a lot of quarterbacks just don't have. They really don't have it. And I think that's a lot to be said about that young man and that intangible aspect that he brings to the Ravens, man.
So, Big Ira Sutton, what's up, big homie? Made the comment. Now, you know, this is something I don't agree with. I don't think he gave up on the Ravens.
Me either. I don't agree with that.
And it's been confirmed. It's been confirmed that he was hurt.
Yeah.
The teammates have said it. The people in the building said he was legitimately hurt. And So, you know, and that line of thinking has got legs to it.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that say he quit on the team. He didn't show up to the playoff game in Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get all of that. You know, you want your guys there, but I haven't heard one teammate say one negative thing.
Not one thing
about Lamar Jackson, man. Whether we talking about the injury, whether we talking about, you know, his role on the team. I just heard an interview. I just listened to an interview Friday with the fullback. I'm blanking on his name. The fullback for the Ravens, the guy that used to play defensive tackle.
The big guy, the big
yeah,
white
the big
guy.
dude, big guy, yeah. But he said it. He said, "Man, Lamar in the building is playful, man. He gets along with everybody. He just want to win. Like his thing is, man, Lamar is a winner. He don't like to lose." Patrick Ricard, yeah. I'm sorry, man. I apologize, Pat Ricard. I apologize. But he said, he's like, Lamar is a winner. You know what I'm saying? Lamar wants to win. He talked about something that he got called for a holding or offsides or something, maybe 2 or 3 of them in a game. He said Lamar jumped on him. I guess the cameras caught it. And the guy that was interviewing him asked him about it. You know, well, what was that about? He said, man, it's just Lamar being competitive, man. This kid wants to win. You know, and I don't get those calls on me. It was just one of those days I was holding. I think it was a holding call. He got a couple holding calls on him. You know what I'm saying? He said usually that's just not what happens, and I just was having a bad. But Lamar jumped on me, and then he asked him about the game when Lamar and the left tackle got into it, and he said the same thing. Lamar just being competitive, man. He's trying to win. So this whole narrative that he's a quitter, I don't buy it. I don't buy that, not even a little bit. But everybody, you're entitled to your opinion. If that's what you feel, that's what you feel. But I just don't buy it. I don't think the man is a quitter. I think, he had a legitimate injury. And he got injured during a contract year when people were saying he shouldn't have played anyway because he he might get injured. Sure. And he got injured. And then with speculation every week after that. I don't think he's coming back. He coming back. You heard that every week. Is he coming back? He ain't coming back. We went through that stuff the whole week to the end of the year.
Well, you know what, Kenny? Remember I told you when you first started your doing your show, and I told you something. The one piece of advice that I gave to you was when you doing it, your show, when people have form these opinions or thoughts, it's your responsibility and mine when I was boxing blogger to go deeper. Because a lot of people look on that first layer of information and say, oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Your job is to go 3 and 4 layers deep to find the truth before you even say anything because that's your credibility on the line. So, now in the advent of social media, people going to say stuff and throw it out there.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see if it stick on the wall. And then somebody will look at it and say, oh, yeah, Lamar said this, not really going and doing your own research.
Yeah.
And figuring out, you know what, he didn't say that. But, you heard somebody else do it. And that, it goes, then it has legs after that. Yeah. But
y'all know I'm a big John Thompson. That was my guy. Yeah. And, I be stealing his quotes from his radio show all the time. And Big John said, especially coming from how he was at Georgetown, he gave the media just what he wanted to give them. Yeah. But he said, man, in the media, he said, man, when they trying to find some information, and they digging and trying to get the story and can't get it, they start making up stuff. Yeah. They're gonna start making it up. Yeah. You either gonna come out the hole and know what the story is, or you just let it fly. You know what I'm saying? And so, hey, Kim Winder, what's up?
Man, I would have loved to see Big John and guys like him, John Chaney up in Temple, guys, how they navigate through social media today, because they wouldn't be having a lot of this stuff. Because they told you exactly what they thought, so it wasn't no guessing game. Yeah. And then they're gonna give you what they want to give you. Yep. John Chaney, if a kid says, look, I want my kids to have a tie, no beard, no mustache, whatever he wants to be. And then they say, well, John, we got a report that, no, it's what I told the kid. It ain't no guessing game with John Chaney. He's going to tell you exactly what he's doing with his kids. So I would have loved to see them too in today's social media world, because a lot of people would be like, tuck tails and be like, man, I shouldn't have opened that can. Really, man, I'm telling you.
But I think in today's, because them dudes just old school, you know what I mean? Yeah, you don't really see that mindset in today's. I mean, really, the only coach that really just do what he wants is Belichick. Yeah, he the only coach that really just kind of. Yeah, we on to next week.
But Kraft give him that license to do that though.
Yeah, sure does. 100%.
Yeah. So this whole Lamar thing, man. I like the fact that he made the tweet this morning, shook things up a little bit. He definitely got some juices flowing. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to work, and I think I just kind of settled into work, and I seen it. I was like, oh, I got to run with this one, So I'm like got my phone and I'm trying to work at the same time. I ain't get a whole lot of work done today, But I'm glad that he finally said something, and he rocked the boat a little bit, and we'll see what the Ravens do in response. Really, his saying that he want to trade. I mean, we've seen this before, with players demanding trades, and then however long it take, they get a deal worked out, and then everybody kumbaya at the press conference. Oh, we loved him all along, and this was a tough negotiation. You know how they do. You know how they do. It was tough, but so it's clear none of us want to see him go. None of us here want to see him go. I was hopeful that some of my more vocal friends that don't like Lamar with a basic comments, but I know how they roll.
But I say this to support it, Glennie. You look the last 30 years, and you look at all the great quarterbacks in their prime, whether it's Joe Montana, Brett Favre, Troy Aikman, in the heart of their career, when they're prime, they ain't had no problem with no contracts.
Yeah.
They ain't had no problem. Matter of fact, Troy Aikman got his contract. I remember what's his name? Emmitt Smith had to sit out 2 games to get his contract. Hey, Troy ain't had to sit out, man. No, any quarterback.
To take it further, it wasn't even news. They got it. It just wasn't even in the news.
It wasn't even no news. I mean, come on, man. Even Tom Brady, all these guys, man. Only reason they did that they think Tom was no more good, so he goes to Tampa Bay with the Super Bowl. But I don't know, man.
And what Kim say, it's a business. But that's something I also bring up. Something I always talk about. Fans of sports are fans,
right?
But we diehards. You know what I'm saying? We gonna watch. We gonna watch regardless. If Lamar's not the quarterback, we gonna watch the games anyway.
Yeah,
that's just who we are. But the business of sports is ugly, man. You know what I'm saying? And I told the story where I had to back away. I had to take a step back because I found myself getting all caught up in these guys' money and who was getting this and who was getting that, and I wasn't even enjoying the games no more. Yeah, I just had to fall back, and like I said, what got me back on track, man, as I was riding up Prairie Parkway one day down Hillen Road, and I seen the kids over Northwood playing over by Morgan, seeing the baseball my little cousins used to play. I pulled over. I didn't even know if they were playing or not. I said, let me see if my cousin them over here playing. Just so happened one of my little cousins was playing. So I said, and I watched the game, and the kids was having fun, man. They throwing the ball all over the place, but they having fun. It brought me back. Yeah. Why I love sports in the first place, man, because we was them same little kids at one point, throwing the baseball all over the field, throwing footballs around, playing football in the street, waiting for the cars to get past us to run the next, all that kind of stuff. We did all of that. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we gained to love, man. I love sports, and I'm gonna love sports till I ain't in here no more, till they putting dirt over me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about nobody's money.
Kim says it's a business, right? So it just led me to think, man, NBA, you guys know this story, Isaiah Thomas, the second Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. Oh, man, they did him dirty.
You see what I'm saying? Where
they did him dirty.
He held out for that money, man, and ended up getting hurt and left hundreds of millions on the table.
Froze on. You bet? You froze up. You froze up, Glenny.
I said where Isaiah Thomas ended up not signing a contract that was potential well over $100 million.
Yep. Yeah, man.
And that hurt to see that, got where he got a subpar contract a couple years later. He couldn't, and then I think somebody said it in the comments, Kenny. Your guy Ira, I think his name is Ira.
Yeah.
Where Isaiah kept playing when he shouldn't have played.
Yeah.
And he got hurt. And it destroyed, those future contracts.
Keep it in the NFL. RG3.
Oh,
yeah.
RG3. Yeah. He played when he clearly shouldn't have been playing.
Yeah.
Right.
And ruined his career.
Yeah. So Ira got to consider that. Ira, you need to consider that, man.
Yeah.
RG3. Yeah.
And Barnett makes a great point in which we don't realize his sister had died too, IT.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
remember that.
man.
Yep.
And he,
I remember
he's trying to play and struggling with Boston, and actually we're a good team with him. And unfortunate what happened after that, but
yeah. The Barnett, the trainer was fired. The head trainer was fired for the Ravens. They got him up out of there. He said the training team should be fired, but yeah, they hired the head guy. They got him up out of there. And I heard a couple of the players. I heard one of the players was talking about some of the issues they had with him. Like they said that he didn't do individualized workouts. Like if a dude was rehabbing from injury, everybody doing the same stuff. Like, come on, man. I'm not a trainer, and I know that you can't have everybody doing the same stuff, man. It got to be specific to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know. So we getting down to about 3 minutes left before the hour. So I ain't gonna keep y'all brothers all night, man. But I just definitely wanted to talk about this Lamar contract. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know what the resolution is or if they're going to get it done. You know, we got the NFL draft coming up. There's a lot of deals get done during the draft. Could Lamar be on the table during the draft night? You know what I'm saying? Like, anything can happen. Anything can happen at this point. Any closing thoughts from the fellas, man, before we wrap it up? Go ahead, Glenny.
Closing thoughts. It seemed like this for me is business and personal. I know the Ravens got to do what they got to do to protect the shield, but at the same time, my heart is there for Lamar. I think he's proven himself. He's already did the work, you know, for 5 years. He's got an MVP. He got his playoff win, and he got that playoff win on the road. He shows so much potential. Not only does he rally his team up, he rallied the fans up. Let's sign him, Baltimore Ravens. Let's get a deal done. Clearly, he's probably going to go with the franchise tag if he stays, but it would be a big loss to our community. We got to consider not having him on Sundays starting in September. No Lamar Jackson. Can you imagine that? And that's going to be tough. I mean, my mother knows him. My wife knows him, you know. So I just hope they work it out. And I'm looking forward to see where this is going to go, Kenny. Where is this going to go? He's the sacrificial lamb. Whether he lose it or win it, come out the winner in this, that's going to set the tone for quarterbacks in the future. And so it's tough.
What you got, Cheese?
No, I agree, man. I want him to come back. I've been saying that since the show began. I like the young man. I like how he carries himself. Hopefully they get something done. But wherever he goes, I'm gonna still be a fan of his and be supportive of what he's doing. But like I stated earlier, it's not many football quarterbacks in the prime of their career who have this problem with a contract.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes to, I don't want to pull that card either. But sometimes when you're trying to run a Boston in spades, you got to throw one of them cards out to start it. So, we'll see.
Yes, sir. Well, fellas, man, I appreciate y'all for coming on, man. We got to definitely do it again. Hopefully on better terms next time. We had some good news to talk about.
Yeah.
But if not, we're going to keep talking about this contract, man. And because all the news is going to keep coming out. So I'm going to wrap it up with that, man. But if y'all following on YouTube, man, subscribe to the channel. We on YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter, the Sports Mix 2021. Appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all. We out.
All right. Peace out. Thank you, fellas.